Hey, do you know what time it is? That's right. It's time for Coach Lindy's podcast. The podcast to get you moving. Hi, I'm Lindy Hutchinson, a certified life mastery consultant with the Brave Thinking Institute. As a life coach, I help others transform their life as I have mine. It's not easy, but it is possible, and it most certainly is worth it. Each week, I'll share insights that inform, inspire, and ignite in you your desire to create a life that you love. So let's find out what's going on this week. Welcome to the podcast. It's wonderful to be with you again. This is Coach Lindy, and I'm going to do something a little different this week. We are going to do a highlight or spotlight, whatever you want to call it. We're going to profile a notable figure in personal development. There have been many books written about her. There is a show right now on Netflix about her, a mini-series, and it is Madam C.J. Walker. For those of you looking at the video, she's an attractive black lady. This particular photo of her was from 1914. If you are not familiar with C.J. Walker, we'll go over that today. She was born Sarah Breedlove in December of 1867, and she passed away in 1919. She was an American entrepreneur, philanthropist, political and social activist. She is recorded in the Guinness World Book of Records as the first female self-made millionaire. And if you think about the dates, being born in 1867, this was a very turbulent time, very exciting and troublesome time for the races in this country. She made her fortune by developing and marketing a line of cosmetics and hair care products for black women. And she actually adopted the name C.J. Walker in her business, which was actually her third husband, which we'll get into in a minute. But she was known largely for her philanthropy, her activism, her numerous donations to the NAACP. She was a patron of the arts, and time after time, she was cited as someone who reached out and helped many, many people. So she is our hero of this podcast. At the time of her death, she is considered to be the wealthiest African-American businesswoman and wealthiest self-made black woman in America. So that was done at a time when a lot of Americans, period, were struggling. And this woman who had many disadvantages used her scruples, her mind, and energy and a determination to create an amazing life. So she was born as Sarah Breedlove, in December of 1867 in Louisiana. She was born to her parents, and there were 5 siblings, so a total of 6 kids. And they were enslaved on a plantation in Louisiana, and she actually was born after the Emancipation Proclamation was signed. So she actually was not born into slavery, but that did not, unfortunately, mean that her life was going to be easy. She was orphaned by the time she was 7, and she ended up moving to Mississippi, where one of her older sisters and brother-in-law lived. She worked there. She said she had little or no opportunity when she started out in life because she was an orphan and she was only 7 years old. She only had 3 months of formal education. What really helped her out is that she would attend Sunday school literacy classes at the church. So that helped her a great deal, and she used it to her benefit as we'll see later. She got married in 1882 at the ripe old age of 14. She had a little girl. Her husband died by the time she was 20. So she was born, she was married, birthed a little girl, and then was a widow by the time she was 20 years old. She remarried. She was married. Her second marriage lasted 9 years, and she left him, which was pretty unusual. In 1906, she married her third husband, Charles Joseph Walker, C.J. Walker, which she named her company after. He was a newspaper advertising salesman, and that was in St. Louis, Missouri. And that's really as things took off for her. In 1888, Sarah Breedlove moved with her daughter to St. Louis, and I'm probably not saying it right, St. Louis. And her three brothers were there, and they were barbers. So she started learning how to take care of hair. Now, if you think back, especially for any person who is economically depressed, which usually a lot of single women, especially widows, were with children, and especially if you're a person of color, it was all that more difficult. At the time, she was taking in laundry and making barely $1 a day. She was determined to create a good life for her daughter. That was one of her big motivations. She did sing and participate in St. Paul African Methodist Episcopal Church, and that gave her a chance to mingle and understand some of the social nuances in the community of women and the things that they were concerned about. Now, very few people had indoor plumbing, and the diet always wasn't so good. Again, if you're living on almost nothing, you use what you have. And oftentimes, women, especially Black women, their scalp would become very dry. Hers, she had bad dandruff and scalp ailments, and she had balding spots. And if you happen to watch the Netflix miniseries about her, they cover that. And it's a combination of diet and not having fresh water and not lacking a lot of things. But her brothers, because they were barbers, they understood hair care. So she became interested, and of course, as most of us ladies, we would like to have a beautiful head of hair. She ended up selling hair care products made by an Annie Turnbow Malone, who was also an African-American lady, and she started selling those products. It got a little bumpy, and she started to create her own line of hair care products. They had moved to Denver by this time, Denver, Colorado. She was 37 years old. And she started having some success with this. And as it shows in the books and also in the Netflix miniseries, that she understood marketing, and she would go door to door, and she would help women groom and style their hair. She didn't just say, here, take this, but she started teaching them how to fix their hair. And the idea, part of it was, the expression was that you don't have the look. Some women were turned away from possible jobs because they didn't look right. Well, once they had their hair done right and they looked a little more polished, they could get better paying jobs. So she was interested in creating wealth for herself and especially for her daughter, but her heart really was in reaching out to others. So as she goes along, her life has a lot of different twists and turns, but she begins teaching systems. She had something called the Walker system. She had a network of licensed sales agents who got very nice commissions for products they sold. And also she trained people these ladies, how to fix people's hair, women's hair. And so it's kind of like a rising tide floats all boats. She was showing how, not just how to buy her products, but how to make yourself feel better, look better, be healthier, and you could elevate your station in life. So she went through many twists and turns. She had several offices. She had a plant. She had a factory. She ended up opening an office and beauty salon in New York City's growing Harlem neighborhood, which became the center of the African American culture. She ended up building a factory. She had a beauty school. She trained women how to manage their money, how to manage their product line. And between 1911 and 1919, at the height of her career, they said she trained around 20,000 women. Their outfits were white shirts, black skirts, and a black satchel. And she gave out prizes for selling so much product. And she gave prizes and notoriety to her sales ladies who gave considerable donations to charity. So she was very much interested in helping others help themselves. So it says here, by the time she passed away, her company was not only in the United States, but it had expanded to Cuba, Jamaica, Haiti, Panama, and Costa Rica. And that was long before the internet and long before cell phones. This was a woman who was a shaker and a mover, and she did a lot of good, helped a lot of people, and she is most certainly inspirational. So look for Madam C.J. Walker. There are books, there are videos, there's a lot of interesting information about Madam C.J. Walker. If things are tough, how's it go? When things get tough, the tough get going. So this week, our top banana was Madam C.J. Walker, and our power word for the week is entrepreneur. Our train your brain thought for the week is making your own way. Don't stand there waiting for someone to help you. You get in, you do it, and you help others along the way. In the Hey That's Funny file, one of my personal favorite, Miss Phyllis Diller, don't go to bed angry. Stay up and fight. If you don't know who Phyllis Diller is, please look her up. She was a hoot. So, my friends, keep building your dreams and creating a life that you love because you deserve it. I will look forward to seeing you again next week. Take care. Bye. Hey, thanks for joining me this week. I look forward to being with you every week. And if you'd like to get in touch with me, please email me at coachlindy@lindyhutchinson.com. My name is spelled L-Y-N-D-I, so it's Coach Lindy, L-Y-N-D-I, at Lindy Hutchinson, LYNDIHUTCHINSON.com. I value what your input is, and I'm always open up for suggestions and ideas. If you will like and or subscribe to this podcast, that would be wonderful. I appreciate it. And I enjoy anything that you might want to send in, or if you would like some more information about coaching, send me an email and I will get back with you, and we'll talk about how you can create your best life. Have a good week. We'll see you next time. Thanks. Bye-bye.